Hi everyone, I hope that you are doing well and having a good weekend. I've really enjoyed going through your website creations and looking at everyone's comments and making a few comments of my own. I think everyone did an excellent job with getting their feet wet with finding out a little bit more about how to create a website and how those websites communicate ideas, whether they're ideas about ourselves, our record collections, our art that we're making, places we've traveled, and it may cause you to think a little bit more about the kinds of moods or attitudes that museum websites are communicating and the way that they can also engage visitors. So, our topic will continue this week with how museums are using online learning spaces to engage their visitors. And this week we're going to be focusing on the big topic of social media in museums. I remember years ago, with the emergence of social media, museums weren't quite sure what to make of it. Many museums really embraced it in their marketing departments and their communications departments, while education departments were a little bit slower to embrace social media. And in some ways, there was a tug of war that happened in museums, and maybe some would argue are still happening in museums between different departments, whether it's communications and marketing, or education, or maybe even curatorial and exhibitions. It seems like everyone is vying to participate in the museum's voice in social media as a way to interact with the different publics of the museum. So this week we're going to look a little bit more closely at the power of social media and how museums might be able to harness that as an online learning environment with their visitors. So in the resources area or lessons area of our class, please take a look at the document that's titled Follow a Museum. And I'm asking you to follow at least one museum this week, either using Facebook or Twitter. I think that many of you most likely already use these platforms, but if you don't, see this as an opportunity just to experiment with it for a while. Know that you are not committed to using Facebook or Twitter for the rest of your life. Perhaps you are not a fan of social media, but see this as an opportunity really to learn more about it and to learn more about how museums are using it. So please follow the instructions in that document, Following a Museum this week, which asks you to like or follow a museum over the coming week. And then over the course of the following week, week 6, we're going to be commenting a little bit on some discoveries that we made in social media. And there's some guiding questions in that document, Follow a Museum, that you'll want to take a look at. We also will continue our readings this week with some discussions around John Falk and Lynn Deerking's work about social research and the ways that people interact socially in museums, and David Weinberger, who wrote a book a few years ago that had a section in it called Social Knowing. So our weekly discussion leaders this week will be getting us started by Wednesday, February 27th. So be on the lookout for the synthesizing questions on Wednesday, February 27th, so that we can get our conversation started after that point. As always, if you have any questions about our course, you're welcome to reach out to me directly, or other people might be having the same question, so be sure to post your question in the course questions area. So enjoy the rest of the weekend, and let's get started with week 5.